Alright everyone, welcome back into the Long Dark. Welcome to the episode, I think this is episode 26 of the Interloper series. So like I said, welcome in, appreciate you guys being here. Right off the bat, if this is your first episode with the channel, I'd invite you to go ahead and subscribe. We put out tons of Long Dark content each and every day, so if that's your jam, then you definitely want to be a member of the channel. So, and of course, all of you returning viewers, I appreciate you guys tuning in episode after episode as well. So without further ado, we're picking up pretty much right where we left off at the end of last episode as per usual. I pretty much just came into Community Hall at the end of last episode. I talked a little bit about, you know, whether or not I would go ahead and search this building off camera or without recording, and I did go ahead and do that. And guys, I didn't find anything. I think I found a granola bar maybe, and of course I got the water from the toilet, but that is honestly, that is about all I found in here. So it was pretty much a bust, unfortunately. So I think what we'll do to start this episode is just head back out into Thompson's Crossing, and we'll search some of the other buildings that it's got to offer. Pretty foggy, and there's not much to Thompson's Crossing to search, but there's definitely some spots we're going to want to hit. So do we want to start at the gas station? Let's just start in, I guess, town here, and we'll hit the houses and the church, and then we'll run across the street to the gas station. So let's start with this house. Okay, so let's see what we got going on in here. We'll hit the kitchen.
Thank goodness.
Oh, some sardines, not bad. 76%. Peaches, 65%, not bad. Makes me feel a little bit better about the goose egg we got over at Community Hall. Really didn't find much of anything there. Let's see what else we can find. It's pretty cool because that food is still in pretty good shape. So I mean, it's obviously safe to eat for now. So we'll definitely put that to good use. Especially since, I mean, I guess I have the wolf meat still. I haven't cooked that or anything, but outside of that, I don't have any meat or anything on hand to eat. We hit this one already. Let's check the oven. Nothing. And let's just go ahead and grab this piece of wood since it's free. Sometimes there's stuff on top of these, so just checking the top and the bottom. Nothing over there though, so we'll keep moving. I remember when they added Thompson Crossing. I guess I don't know if I would say I remember when they added it, but I remember like the first time that I was like, what in the world is this? It was, I guess, always kind of in the game, but it wasn't nearly as developed as it is now. Like I think it was like 2 maybe abandoned houses, or maybe it was just a couple of houses that are across the bridge that you can't really get into. I think that's really all it consisted of. And then like, you know, 1 episode. I guess you should expect it, but maybe at the time I just hadn't really been playing much of the Long Dark, and when I got back into it, happened to just like come across this brand new kind of almost little miniature town. I can carry much more. It's a pretty cool area. I like it. I'm glad it was added. I like the Community Hall a lot. I almost like it more than I do the farmstead. All right, we've hit everything in here. I think the only thing that the farmstead really has that maybe the Community Hall doesn't is it like the farmstead just has more outright storage space, I guess, which may or may not be important. You know, in some of the lower difficulties where you've just got like a ton of stuff, maybe that is convenient. I had 1 tinder plug in that big old box. Maybe that's more convenient to have additional storage space, but like Interloper, I mean, you don't have too much to store anyway. So like Community Hall really has everything to offer that that the farmstead does, I feel like. It's got the 6-burner stove, it's got the fireplace as well. It's kind of like 3 beds there on the floor. It's got a couple of pretty good storage spots. You get there's a chest in there that you can store stuff in, and then there's like a cupboard that's under the stage that you can search as well, or that you can store stuff in. So it's got a good amount of storage in it. And I kind of like where it's located, honestly. It's along the road, so you don't ever really get lost just wandering through the field or anything like that. So it's, I don't know, I just kind of like it more. Or maybe it's just because, like, in some ways, you know, like if you go on any kind of social media or whatever and ask any kind of forum or Reddit or whatever and ask, you know, what everyone's favorite to like end game base location is, it's almost always the farmstead. Which, don't get me wrong, it's got all the amenities really that you need. Oh, I did just think though, I guess it does not have a workbench. That's one thing that it doesn't have. So that would be something. I'm trying to think where the closest one is. I think the gas station maybe. So it's still relatively close by. And I'm not sure. We'll confirm that when we get over there. But if that's the case, then yeah, I go back to my original statement that there's really not much outside of just raw storage space that it has to offer. Plus it's closer to the exits for Coastal Highway and Timberwolf. They're both kind of more towards Thompson, I feel like, than the Homestead. More so Coastal, maybe. But, oh man, I hate to keep picking up water. I think I've got like 2 gallons of water right now, but we'll just keep taking it. And I can store some at the community hall as well. But yeah, I don't know. Just on a soapbox, I kind of prefer it, I think. A lot more open space and stuff. I don't know. Let me know if you guys have a preference. I bet most people will probably prefer the farmstead still, but I do like the community hall. I was glad when it was added. Down vest.
Come in handy.
Don't really have a use for it right now, but we'll of course take it for potential resources that it could offer later, and cloth and things like that. So, or if God forbid we lose piece of our clothing or something in an attack or something, then we've got a spare. Something like that. Man, it's still, you know, I've never found anything to replace that darn dress shirt still. And that is a bummer. But all it's going to take is we get up to Timberwolf and we, you know, crack one of those storage containers open and it's full of clothing that I'll find. You know, I'll probably get 3 or 4 sweatshirts and I can be rid of it. All right, I think we've cleared out everything in here. So we'll move on to the next one. Okay, so yeah, this one's next, I think. Yeah, I'm turned around a little bit. Did I hit the trunk of this car? The footsteps suggest yes, I did, but let's double check. I did, okay. Y'all know me by now. I will not remember something immediately after I do it. And I think it's honestly just like, you know, as I'm providing commentary and stuff and talking to you guys about things, I just like lose track of what I've done because my brain's kind of on 2 things at once, almost. You guys probably get tired of seeing me walk in circles sometimes. I don't think there's anything like out back now, just some planks. You could break those down for wood if you needed. And I guess like back to our discussion about end game locations, like, I mean, in this series, you know, we never really defined what we were trying to do with this one. You know, whether we were just shooting for a certain number of days or that type of thing. So, I mean, you know, let me know. Like, we'll probably try and hit each of the regions and do our looting and stuff. But where should we eventually like settle? What do you guys think? Obviously, there's always the farmstead. There's always Pleasant Valley. But you guys know by now that I'm not a particularly a big fan of Pleasant Valley, just due to the weather concerns most times, most days. So, I mean, I know Jackrabbit Island and Coastal is a pretty popular kind of end-game location as well. Mountaineer's Hut would be cool. I don't think I've ever really like officially like settled down there, so that could be interesting. Yeah, let me know what you guys think. Try and think outside the box a little bit. I mean, obviously there's those few locations I just named, but you know, what else do you think would be a good spot? Oops, or have you tried anything cool? There's a cabin in Bleak Inlet, not the cannery workers residence, and I feel like I've probably mentioned this cabin in several episodes now, of whether it's this Interloper series or any of the challenge episodes, that I've probably mentioned the same cabin, but it's not the cannery workers' residence. It's kind of up the hill from the cannery, actually. And it's one of my favorite spots. Just because it's, you know, kind of something different. And I'm thinking, so we'd need access to a forge and a workbench. The forge, Bleak Inlet, obviously connects to Forlorn, so you could get over to Forlorn to the forge. That would be... Oh, man, he's right there. I think I can get him, guys. Oh, he moved right at the last second. Let's see if he'll stop again, and maybe we'll try and clean him off. I thought I had a perfect little just... chew-in shot there, and then he moved right as I drew the arrow back. Yeah, so you need access to a forge and a workbench, and where did he go? There he is. Oh, he's gone. Okay. Oh well. I mean, I really wasn't on the hunt. He just happened to be standing there. But yeah, Bleak Inlet. I don't know about a workbench. There's definitely not a workbench in that little cabin. I can't remember if there's one in the workers' residence. And then isn't there a, like, maybe I'm thinking wrong, but isn't there like another cabin? No, I think I'm thinking of, I'm mixing Ash Canyon and Bleak Inlet. I was thinking there's like a Foreman's Retreat or something along those lines in Bleak Inlet, but I think I'm just thinking of Foreman's Retreat in Ash Canyon. Which is also, it seems like, gotten pretty popular as a location. So, you know, maybe we'll, once we get over kind of that way, we'll start to think about it. We've got a long ways to go before that, but, you know, doesn't hurt to kind of think what we want to do in the series. I'm all ears, guys, so let me know what you think. If there's a strong consensus one way or the other, then we'll definitely make a go of it. So I think I've hit everything here now. So let's we do need to hit gas station. How are we doing on weight? We're pretty heavy. It's a pretty nice day though. It's getting fairly late, but the temperature's still good. So just thinking where else we could go, but honestly I think we should probably, well, search the gas station, and we should probably stay here tonight. I don't know, it'd be nice to get back to the barn at least, but oh, there's another. I mean, if we kill a deer right here, then we're staying here tonight. Oh, too close. He couldn't see me, but he alerted to me. All right, well, let's focus on the gas station, and then maybe we'll see if he's shown himself a little better when we come out. Let's hit these couple cars outside first. I didn't really obviously set out with the intention of hunting a deer. I've just had a couple really good looks at that guy now. And I mean, we could afford to lay low here for a day or two, eat some deer, and maybe repair some clothes and stuff like that. Wouldn't be such a bad thing. I imagine there's probably a cave back there somewhere. I'm trying to think. Nothing in the trunk. Check the glove box. Nothing. Okay, well, let's go inside. And we'll check that out. And then we'll figure out what to do. Yeah, so I mentioned before if there was a workbench in here. I think there is. Let's find out. Alright, let's see what kind of food options we got. Not a ton. Nope, nothing. There's some spray paint. I've been pretty much just ignoring the spray paint, and I'll continue to do so. So stump remover, lantern fuel will be nice. We could top our lantern off. Stump remover, it's just, we don't need it. Oh, it's heavy too. We'll at least take it. We'll take it over to community hall. Can I still run? Yeah, I can still run. I'm trying to think of what the cutoff would be. What's this? More painkillers. Why not? And so far I don't see a workbench like I mentioned. So, looks like I've been proved wrong there. So maybe there's not one over here, which would mean Yeah, I think I'm just thinking of the gas station over in Milton, because it's a pretty good little location. So that would mean that the closest workbench is probably the barn, unless there's one over here that I'm just not thinking of, but I didn't see any. So yeah, it probably means that it's the barn, which isn't too far to travel, but it's pretty safe travel too, because there's really not any wolves between here and there. We're so slow right now because we're carrying so much. We're only at 85 pounds. How far do we have to go? We don't have all that far to go. Let's just try and get back to at least the barn tonight, and then maybe we can push on from the barn to the homestead in the morning. That's kind of what I'm thinking. Yeah, so I think back to what I was saying, that the barn would really be the closest option you had for a workbench that I can think of right now. If you know otherwise, then let me know, but that is kind of a bad mark against community hall, because obviously at the farmstead you've got one in the basement ready to go, so there's one in the barn too, which is not too far to travel from Thompson's Crossing, but it's not quick. I mean, it's not like a, you know, you might not want to do it if there's a blizzard or that type of thing. But where else? Where else could we settle?
My fingers feel numb.
It's got to be somewhere also that has a good consideration for like what to do, you know, with cabin fever risk. That's something to, you know, that needs to be considered as well. Trying to think of some of the locations I've mentioned, what has good options. I mean, Mountaineer's Hut and Timberwolf, obviously. I think that whole thing kind of counts as being outdoors, but if not, I don't know for sure off the top of my head. I feel like back and forth. Yes, it does. No, it doesn't. But either way, you've got the ice fishing hut directly outside that you can go shack up in if you need to, as well as it's kind of the same story for the cannery workers' residence. It's got obviously ice fishing hut. It's just a few steps away, really. So something to put on the list for that place. Jackrabbit Island, I don't believe it has a workbench, but I mean, you've got the, I think it's Quonset garage that's not too far. The problem with Coastal Highway just in general is there's just a ton of wolves out there, so you always kind of have to be head on a swivel. I guess there's not one at Timberwolf either. But yeah, I don't know. If you're trying to live on Timberwolf, you're already kind of a, not a different breed. I don't know what you'd say. That's kind of picking the toughest option for sure. But we'll see. We got to make it that far first anyway. Alright, so just across this bridge should be the barn, so we should almost be back. We may hit some herbal tea tonight. Herbal tea. I don't know. Our condition's gotten fairly low. We're not at risk or anything, but it would be nice to start getting it back up. And then what should we hit next? I'm just thinking what else is out here to search. So there's Skeeter's Ridge. There's the basement up there. I think obviously the plane crashes that way. How am I forgetting that one? So there's probably tons of opportunity for me to replace my dress shirt up there because there's all those suitcases and things. So we definitely need to put that on the list of things to do while we're in Pleasant Valley. What else, guys? What other locations are there that I'm not thinking of? There's Draft Dodger's Cabin, which is pretty much on the way to Skeeter's Ridge, so we'll probably, that could even be like our staging point to push on to Skeeter's. Just checking out that first, so that might end up being what we do. Alright, let's go ahead and run. Kind of burn some energy. Get ourselves nice and tired for the night. Okay. I'd almost say we could leave here and just go straight for Skeeter's Ridge, but we've got so much extra just stuff on us right now that we should probably get back to the farmstead first and then make that push after doing that. Just taking one more peek. Just hopeful that something's going to be there. Alright, let's hop in the truck. Still warmer than being out there. Alright, so we're pretty hungry, thirsty, tired. Just thinking like, let's eat these chips, they're pretty low. And then maybe we can read a chapter or so of one of our books with the little bit of extra time we do have.
I could eat anything right now.
Alright, let's drink some water. It's probably too dark to read again. Ooh, let's drink a soda. I forgot that I was carrying these around. They're really all pretty in decent shape. This is the worst one, I think. It's probably too dark to read again. No? Yeah, we're not going to make it the whole way, though. I'll be surprised if we get this. Oh, we did. Okay, cool. Alright, let's go ahead and crash, though. So let's see. What do we have to eat? Are we... Oh, we're still pretty fed. How many calories do we have? It's 285, so we need, what, like 500, maybe? Rusty dog food, guys. What do you think? That would get us for the night, but it's 18%. Let's try it before it gets any worse. I wonder what the percentage of risk is. Let's see. All right, cool. We lived. I guess I just should check. Yeah, we do have antibiotics, so we would have been okay. All right, so how many calories did that give us? All right, we're at 770, so we need to go to sleep pretty quickly here, so we don't burn any off, and then not have enough to make it through the night. I want about 750 before I go to bed. So let's go to sleep. Oh, too far. All right, 750 gets us 10 hours, so let's hit it. Should get us all the way through the night. Well, I say that, but yeah, it's about morning. We're still a little tired though, so we could sleep a little more. Maybe we'll do that so it's a little warmer outside. We still have a little bit. Oops, that's not what I wanted to do. We still have a little bit of calories left as well. All right, where am I? All right, there it is. All right, okay, we just went hungry, but that's okay. We're only going to sleep like an hour, so we won't lose a ton of condition or anything. Yeah, and then we'll just head to Pleasant Valley and I think unload some stuff and then head for Skeeter's Ridge. And the plane crash and everything. So I think we'll go ahead and wrap this one up here, guys. It seems to be a good stopping point. We're about at time. We're kind of right before we make our next move, so we'll go ahead and do that. So like I said at the outset, I appreciate you guys tuning in, especially you returning subscribers. You guys are the best. Can't say that enough. If you're new here and enjoyed the episode, by all means, please go ahead and like and subscribe. I appreciate every little bit of support that you guys do send my way. But yeah, outside of that, I'll plan to see you guys in the next one.